We initiated many impossible projects before. Specialists tell us it can't be done. And then the impossible happens. It all began with 10 people who came to Rav Dr. Michael Leitman and were quickly joined by many others from all around the world. No one could imagine that we would spread the wisdom of Kabbalah in dozens of languages, that a small web page would become a virtual empire, that we would publish our own newspaper, broadcast 24 hours a day on our own TV channel, and even make it rain in the desert. Making the impossible possible has become our forte, and so we are moving forward towards the next impossible project.
We suddenly realized that the material we've been collecting for 20 years is not accessible to anyone, and this is happening precisely as the world is becoming virtual. For 20 years, Rav Leitman has given his life to this. He showered us with humanity's greatest treasure, and we are not passing it on.
Who is this treasure for? The manuscripts and authentic books of Baal HaSulam, 1,400 articles of Rabash, 2,000 hours of audio from his Kabbalah lessons, 30,000 lessons given by Rav Leitman, thousands of hours of lectures given around the world, 800 hours of gathering of friends, 200 international congresses, 350,000 photos, tens of thousands of educational programs on the meaning of life, children education, relationships, health, economics, and 1 million files translated to all languages. That's right, if you were to watch the entire contents of the archive, you would need at least 10 years in a row without sleep to go through all of it.
We understood that if we don't leave this to our children, to our grandchildren, to the whole of humanity, then all that we're doing is worthless. We started building our own Kabbalistic Google, our Kabbalah YouTube, a fountain of life that every person in the world can drink from. We are close to finishing the first stage. What's ahead of us now is the most important step. We have to build such a system that anyone who enters it will not feel like being buried under tons of materials, but that there's a system here that senses him and gradually ushers him in. We're about to transform this archive into an accessible portal for everyone in the world, so that based on this archive, many different circles will be created according to fields of interest. People will form communities, find friends, share with each other materials. The archive will lay the foundation for video and audio production, and everything will be translated. We want it to be in 70 languages. We want every person in the world to have access to this treasure that we are already feeling, to make it truly for everyone, which is what Baal HaSulam writes about in The Last Generation.
There's an allegory about friends who were lost in the desert, hungry and thirsty. One of them had found a settlement filled abundantly with every delight. He remembered his poor brothers, but he had already drawn far off from them and did not know where they were. What did he do? He began to shout out loud and blow the horn. Perhaps his poor hungry friends would hear his voice, approach him, and come to that abundant settlement that is filled with every delight.
Friends, I've been with you in the last few decades. All that I know, understand, and feel exists in our archive. So to me, the archive is a summary of my life. You could say I've dreamt about it for many years. This is what we actually give out to the world with all our hearts. A very, very precious gift.